There is so much excitement around Tesla's best Model 3, the completely revamped Model 3 performance. New indications on what new features you're going to get, the price, and big changes to upcoming Model Ys. Let's get into it in today's video. Two interesting developments were discovered over the past week or two, and that is now delivery dates for the very popular Model 3 Highland. The refresh of the Model 3 were pushed back another month to 2 months. What used to be January to February and then February to March is now March to April if you place your order for a Model 3 right now. But what about the missing Model 3 performance? Let's get into new features that give us the latest updates. First, let's talk about two new features coming to your Model 3 Highland. Number one, called the Super Horn. A lot of conversation has been happening of the refreshed Model 3 and Tesla's decision to remove the steering wheel stalks. So no longer are those controls in a familiar steering wheel stalk, but rather they're embedded into your steering wheel. A lot's been said about the changes to your steering wheel, and one of those changes is apparently what's called a super horn. This extra loud warning horn is now a speaker, and also there's a pedestrian warning sound as well through a speaker. Now these are two familiar functions. You had both in previous versions, but now that warning sound is coming out of an extra large upgraded speaker. A new upgrade through a over-the-air update. New Model 3 Highlands through a software update now have adaptive headlights. This prevents glare whenever you're driving on the road to oncoming and cars in front of you. First time we're seeing actual footage of these headlights in action. A user posted on X examples of their Model 3 Highland adaptive headlights adjusting to traffic in front of them and oncoming traffic as well. You can see the headlights making adjustments, thus reducing glare and improving visibility for everyone. So this anti-glare technology is now updated through an over-the-air update. The missing Model 3, the Model 3 Performance. Big news on what that price is going to be and a concrete date on when we think production is going to begin. So let's get into it. New information out of Shanghai says that this new Model 3 Performance, this upgraded Model 3, is set to begin in March, only a few weeks away, and they give us a big hint on this starting price. We've brought up the price quite a bit because if you're unaware, sedans here in the States must be under $55,000 MSRP to fully qualify for the federal EV tax credit, a full amount of $7,500 taken now at the point of sale. Articles have been coming out that the production date is set for March in Shanghai. Now, will we see this mirrored here in the States? Will we have to wait, as we did with other models like the Highland, to see the Model 3 Performance? And also the price in Shanghai, 400,000 yuan, or China's currency, which converts to around $55,000. So if it starts at $55,000, then that would make this new Model 3 Performance, as we've seen on the IRS website, fully qualify for the EV tax credit. New information on options that you will have. So listen up. When you're placing your order for your new Model 3 Performance, it has been said that not only are you getting sportier seats, we now have more details. It's going to have more lumbar support, it is said, and a wider headrest. And listen to this. This is a big option. This is a top performance Model 3, and as such, you apparently now have the option to possibly have your car delivered with no middle headrest, allowing for more visibility out of the rear. And also there are talks of a new warped rim. I've never heard this before. Let's see if this new tire for the sportier Model 3 Performance is in fact called a warped rim, a 20-inch performance tire. Now, just to be clear, when I say rims, that's actually the metal piece that holds on your tire. That would measure 20 inches, and then your tire obviously around that. We have seen brand new tires specifically designed for EVs. Now, currently, your Tesla comes with all-season tires, but let's get into other big updates for the Model 3 and the Model Y. If you are waiting on the complete refresh of the Model Y, I want you to listen up. If you're thinking, which Tesla should I get? What's the timeline and what will those features be? I have new updates for you. It has been talked about that this Model Y, if we're lucky, would come in Q4 of 2024. More likely, it is likely that it would come out early in 2025. So that is your timeline, but new information on what features your Model Y will get. I talked about it in other videos, but one of the most reliable resources for Tesla breaking news is Sawyer Merritt. And him and I had a conversation on X about what to expect on this refreshed Juniper Model Y, and here's what he said. So he gave us his opinion on the ETA, end of this year, early next year. Then Tesla Scope, another very reliable resource, confirmed this is a good estimate. Then what happened is I asked, do you see any unique features coming to the Model Y that we do not see in the Highland Model 3? And here's what he said. Most likely, and this is the most reasonable answer, it's going to be a standardized look. So don't expect many new features in the Model Y that's not currently in the Model 3 Highland. So if you are waiting for a completely refreshed Model Y, it's going to happen. But again, there are going to be subtle changes, if any, that differentiate itself design-wise from the Model 3. So did you know a more aggressive new style of carbon fiber spoiler could come to this refreshed Model 3 performance, as well as a new front design that would set itself apart from its other rear-wheel drive and long-range designs? In addition to the new rims and a more aggressive spoiler, it has been talked about a new front splitter could be added to the design of the Model 3 performance. So this would give it a more aggressive design in the front rather than the smoother design on the two other models. And there's also this. New sightings on what appears to be a Model 3 performance. If we can take any hints from the past year, when we see a Tesla wrapped up like this, it's typically to cover new designs. And because we already know the design of the long range and the rear wheel drive, it's somewhat safe to say, with the new red, sportier calipers that we see in this picture, that a new design is in fact coming to the Model 3 performance. But if you pay attention, you'll see a new air diffuser design possibly coming on the bottom of this new Model 3 performance. This contributes to the performance of this vehicle. At top speeds, this pushes the air and keeps your car low to the ground. So again, this new air diffuser design looks like it might be coming to the latest Model 3. So the only way I know you liked these updates is to drop a like. Excitement is growing for this brand new Model 3 performance. Make sure to subscribe to stick around to see the price, final design, and more. As always, this is Matt from Frunk to Trunk. We will see you in the next video.